This is how I start the business. You go to Freelancer. We have a skill category called brainstorming, and you could run a contest. I guarantee you within 15 minutes, you'll start getting designs coming in. You'll get a lot of people saying, I'm working on it. And now you need a developer to actually code the whole thing up for you, and it's done.
We've got some physical products here. How would Freelancer help? This is the fun new segment that we've got. So basically, I want Matt to put his money where his mouth is and show us how you can actually use freelancers via freelancer.com to actually start any business. So I literally went on my Insta stories and said, give me your biggest crazy hammering idea, whatever, give us a challenge, be random. This is Matt Barrie we're talking about, anything. So give us a crazy idea, and Matt's gonna go step by step how he would actually start this business, and also especially using freelancers. So I actually added one in because I really want this service, and this is the one I had. Uber for school and daycare drop-off. We also went through and we were like, ooh, like the idea of a drive-through makeup.
Chewing gum
to minimize hangovers. Yes. And then, anyway, that's enough.
Okay.
Let's just see what we get. Saw the warehouse. Oh! Okay.
Okay.
This is the Tinder or, any dating app, virtual assistant, or I think the longer version of this thing originally said also like a consultant to help you.
Right.
Yeah.
So the proposition is, this is someone that's going to help you set up your Tinder account, but also talk to your dates as well, and kind of try and maximize your calendar for going and seeing potential partners.
I would imagine I actually haven't done the apps, but I would imagine how I would do it, kind of like a job interview, like how when you're interviewing candidates, you want to have people at all different stages of each process. So if something doesn't work out, you're not that sad because you got other people lined up in the pipeline.
Okay.
I would imagine.
Okay, this is how I start the business. So, the first thing is we need a name for the business. Okay. And that can be a bit of a hassle to brainstorm a name. But I think one of the most important things you need for a name, as we kind of talked about earlier, is a good domain name.
Yeah.
Right?
No silent letters.
You don't want anything where it's fun. It's hard to, you've got to explain how to spell the word over and over again. Now, what you could probably do here is you could go to Freelancer. We have a skill category called brainstorming. And you could run a contest for, say, $10, $20, $30. And you make the contest sealed. So that means that nobody on the internet can see the entries. Only you can see the entries.
So the ID doesn't get taken and someone's buying your domain name.
That's right. And what you do is you say, I want to come up with a name for my business. It's a Tinder virtual assistant app. It's to help people close the deal and get dates on Tinder, and potentially help them with their profile and get it looking nice and great. So we need a great name for that, but we also need the domain name to be free and able to be registered. So the way it will work will be, you tell me the name, you've got to check to make sure that the .com is available and ready to go. And the entries to the contest are sealed, so nobody can see them. And if I pick your entry, I will go register the domain name. And after I know I can register the domain name and I've got it, you win the prize, whatever the prize is. It could be $30, could be $10, could be $100. The more you pay, the better outcome you'll get, but you could probably get that away for $30, I think. And you post the contest. And then what will happen is within about, 20 minutes, people will start making suggestions. The first suggestions won't be as good as the ones where people take a bit of time, but straight away people will come in and start making suggestions. You can kind of give feedback to that particular freelancer. So you could give it a star rating. You could type in text responses to them saying, I do like that, but maybe that's a bit too crass, or that's a bit too what have you. I need a bit more Gen Z, or I need whatever.
Like the GPT prompt.
Yeah, whatever. And they'll just give you suggestions, and then only they would get that feedback themselves, and no one else could see the entries, of course. And then ultimately, maybe after a couple of days, maybe 2 days, you'll probably get this done. Maybe even 1 day get it done. You would find the domain that was free that they suggested, along with the name. Once you decided that, you register the domain, so you make sure you locked it in. And then you award them the prize, and then you rate them give them 5 stars, and thanks for that, it's an awesome name. So now you got the name. So the next thing you need is branding. right? So you need a logo, right? So I would use the contest functionality again for that. Do you have any ideas about what are you thinking? What sort of brand do you want for this?
I think he wanted to just kind of like look a little bit like the Tinder or Hinge logo. So when people see it, it resonates with them that, oh yeah,
Okay.
or like what's Bumble? Like you want people to know that it's related.
Okay, cool. So you put that into the description. You put in anything you don't want to see, anything you do like. You can add attachments. So you can put a mood board in for, here's kind of logos I do like, or here's some imagery I like. You can also give that feedback in real time once the content is live. In this case, I would not post it sealed. I'd make it open so everyone could see. And the reason there is because that way you can give really, really good feedback. Everyone can see the feedback on all the entries as they come in, and you'll get the best outcome. So for this, again, you don't need to put much money in, $30 maybe. You could probably get away with 10, but probably $30, you get better designs. If you put
Okay,
a large
so the
enough,
accountant in me is, I'm going to tally. We're at $60 right now.
$60, yeah, you can do it $60. And then you post the contest live. I would probably give it, 5 days to run. You could end it early if you wanted to end it early, and you say go. I guarantee you within 15 minutes, you'll start getting designs coming in. You'll get a lot of people saying, I'm working on it. They want to let you know that they're actually at it. And so don't award someone too quickly. Again, the longer you wait, the more quality you'll get in. But some people do want rush things happening in a few minutes. Like, for example, the other day I was down at a bar with my friends. There's a beautiful photo that was taken by one of the girls. But another girl had a cigarette in her hand, and she goes, I'm actually a ballet dancer with the Australian Ballet, and I can't do that. I'll get in trouble. But this is a really nice photo. I said, don't worry, just give it to me. I'll get a Photoshop. So I took the photo, I put it into Freelancer in a contest, $10. Please remove the cigarette from the girl's hand. And within 15 minutes, it was done. And she goes, how did you get that done in 15 minutes? I go, don't
But
worry.
have you seen the really funny Instagram ones where people do that? Can you remove the cigarette from my hand? And they replace, they put the cigarette into their head. Or like something.
I get really funny, yeah. So you can do that really quickly. So I'll get that going. The key thing here is you've got to give a lot of feedback.
Yeah.
So it's very key that you rate the entries you like. The ones you don't like, you reject. You've got to give a lot of feedback. I like this, I don't like this. People will just do unlimited revisions. So you've just got all these revisions.
I do think when it comes to these job posting and, ChatGPT, everything, it actually comes down to how well you are at giving instructions. People don't realize that it's a skill. And we're kind of all used to, delegating and giving out instructions so much. But and then how well you are giving feedback.
Yeah. So exactly. So you do that and you'll iterate pretty quickly. And I guarantee probably within 24 hours, you'll find something you like. You could choose to end it early if you want to, or you could keep it going for the full time, but you'll get hundreds and hundreds of entries in. So now you have, we can almost do this live, kind of put up the name, you put up the logo. Okay. Now what we need to actually start developing the product.
Yeah.
I think, right? Now, in order to get a product developed first, you want to have a bit of a specification. So you want to have a good brief in terms of how the thing would work. Now, on Freelancer, we actually have functionality. When you I'll do this as a project, not a contest. So the difference is when you post a project, you fill in a title, a description, a budget, and then people will bid on it. And you can interview them and talk to them, what have you, look through the portfolio, select someone. And it's free to do all of that. If you select someone and then you award them a job and they accept it, we charge you 3%, right? So it's free. It's like nothing, right? It's like a PayPal fee. And that's it for clients. The first thing I'd do would be to just jot down in a Word doc or Google Doc as much detail as you have. It could be bullet points. It could be any format you want. It doesn't have to be a formal description. It could be just a bunch of bullet points of, the app should do the following. Bullet point 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'd make sure you get that together and get that, what does the app do? Like what features does it have? What features does it not have? Have you thought about just roughly how it works in terms of the business model? Like, are you going to charge people per date? Are you going to charge them a monthly subscription? Probably do a monthly subscription in this case is the way I'll do it. It would probably be an app for iOS and Android is probably what I'd have in there. You'll probably have just a general overview of kind of how you see the thing to work and the features you have and features you wouldn't have. I would then go to post a project on Freelancer. I remember freelancer.com/Shopo will give you a free recruiter. Yeah. And you type that into the description, and the AI that we have running on the site will then take that, it could be in any format you want, bullet points, whatever, and actually rewrite it and make it beautiful, job posting, a brief. Now, for the project to start off with, I think the first thing I'll do with it would be to get someone to really wireframe the app is probably the first thing I'll do. So what I'm doing there is I'm getting them to create a storyboard, like there's packages like Figma today, which I don't know if people are familiar with that or not, but It's for basically designing products, and it's not doing high fidelity, high resolution, beautiful images. It's really just a storyboard at this point in time to how the app's going to work, what's going to look like, etc., and so forth. But I could probably get that done first. You could skip that. You could just hire a freelancer and go, you put the web brief in, the AI will rewrite it for you, and someone will just do the whole thing. And
So there might be more back and forth.
yeah, there'll be about a bit of back and forth there. But if you want to do it right, I would probably do it and get the wireframes done. So
Let's get it right.
yeah,
How much do you think that will cost?
I put a budget in there of $250 to $750 is what I'll do. It will probably come out costing you $250. The end result of that is you're going to get a nice little wireframes, which is like as if you drew it on a napkin with a pen yourself of every screen and what every screen will look like. So this is the home screen. This is logging in. This is just how you interface with the app. You know, all the buttons, all the text, and I'll get all that done. And you probably for about $250 you can get that completely done. And you know, you're working. In this case, it's a project, right? So this might take maybe take a week or two. Right? Because they'll send back revisions. You say, I don't like this, change that. They may give you a login to something like Figma or whatever program they're using, Sketch or whatever. So you can interact like an interactive whiteboard with them on the whole thing. Basically, for about $250, you'll have the wireframes done for the entire app with all the text. Now, it's important to get that done up front the right way, because that way you'll save a lot of money and save a lot of time. Once you actually build the app, it would just be smooth, right? So you really want to spend in that phase where you just got, it's as if you literally wrote it on a whiteboard and you're just kind of showing all the features and you're getting the text all right. It will save you a lot of money and time later on. That would probably take a week or two to get it absolutely right and nail it. That's probably the most important part, to be honest, of the entire process, because that's really just thinking through, okay, if I click that button, it goes to this screen. If I click that button, it goes to that screen. What's it going to say, et cetera, and so on, right? Now, there are people who can do that for you. There are UX experts that will do it for you. There are web developers that'll do it for you. There are designers that'll do that for you. And the product managers that'll do it for you. So you've got different types of experts that will help you from different perspectives. The important thing is just to ask people for a portfolio of their work when they're bidding on the job. Say, what have you done that's similar to that? Can you show me some wireframes you've done for someone else? And you'll know pretty quickly. When they show you their wireframes, you look through them and go, actually, that is really cool. That's really good job. That's super high quality. But it shouldn't really cost you more than a few $100s to get that done. So now for about $250 or a couple $100, you've got a wireframe of your whole app, how it works. It's important to spend a lot of time in that, because that really, in your mind, will figure out how the app flows. It will save you a lot of expense and cost going backwards and forwards with the developer when the developer's putting it all together. So now we've got the logo, we've got the name for the business, we've got the wireframe, how it works, we've got a description of the business, because the AI, when you post the project, will help you write the description for how it works. And now we've got to get a high-fidelity mock-up of the actual app itself in graphics. So what we'll do is we'll probably pick one of the screens. It could be the homepage, it could be the main page that people are going to interact with on the app or what have you. And I would post a contest for graphic design. And I would say I want a high fidelity, turn this wireframe into a high fidelity mock-up of what the app will look like, just for one page. That you probably pay, I don't know, $100. You want to get this one right. You're going to spend a lot of time on this one because it sets the whole look and feel of the rest of the app. But probably $100 as a contest. You'll get hundreds of people entering that contest. I like this, change the color scheme, change that. I don't really like the style. You've done this too origami-like. I want it to be more Barbie-like. I want it to be more Tinder-like, whatever it may be. And I'll do it. And then the outcome of that is you have a high fidelity mock-up, which is what I mean by that is pixel perfect. This is exactly what your app will look like for that one screen, right? And then simply from there, if you really like that designer, you just say, hey, I want to post a job for you to do the rest of the screens. And so you just, what we call hire me, there's that they can send you a quote. You say on Freelancer, send me a quote. I'll accept it if I like the price. You could pay them fixed price, or you could pay them hourly. So they might charge a certain amount of dollars per hour, or they might negotiate an overall budget for the whole thing. I generally like to do things fixed price because then you know what you're paying. But if the person's done one screen for $100, probably the rest of the app will be a couple hundred, maybe $300 for the rest of the app. But we're talking pixel perfect, every single screen, exactly as you want it. And then the outcome of that is you have a storyboard, exactly what the app will look like. You've already thought it through with the UX flow, and now you just need a developer to actually code the whole thing up for you. And you can get a developer to do that for anywhere from $500 to a couple of grand, and it's done. Put it in the App Store, put it in the Android store, and away you go.
And then you get a freelancer to do digital marketing?
Yep, you could do digital marketing, you could do promotions, you could do all sorts of stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, the sky's the limit.
That's insane.
hire influencers.
Yeah, right. And okay, what if you, okay, because we've got some physical products here. How would Freelancer help if you wanted to make edible candles or like some kind of physical?
I have a friend who did this with inflatable pool toys. So you know those giant swans you've seen on Instagram, everyone's in the pool.
Oh, yes. I know your friend. Then.
Yeah. So he used Freelancer. So what he did, he actually didn't come up with the idea. He kind of saw things that looked like this and thought this is a good idea.
Yeah.
He went on Freelancer. He posted a contest, I think it was $250. And he got someone to design a 3D model for an inflatable swan, like a CAD model. Then he posted a project. So that was a contest. Then he posted a project to find a manufacturer to make it in China. He found a manufacturer.
Oh, wow. That's post a project of someone to find a manufacturer. That is interesting.
Yep. He found a manufacturer who would do it $16 in the box with the packaging all done, delivered. He then had to get a packaging contest done. I think the guy who did the manufacturing said, I could do the box for you, but he didn't want it that sort of style. He wanted to have it, super modern. It was like $100 for a contest to get the packaging done. And then he found out he had to buy $5,000 worth minimum order quantity. So he did that. And then next thing you know, he had pallets of
we all got
inflatable swans. yeah, exactly. There you go. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, and he actually did really well. Actually, at one point, he at the peak he got it into the US, and he was number 4 for pool toys on Amazon.com. And I think he did in the Christmas season one year, he did something like 80,000 units of these things. He bought them for $16 and sold for $99.
That's insane. Well, this is the thing. That was a trend product, right? The fact that he was able to just get it up and running so quickly. Without hiring a team or having necessarily learned the skills yourself, you got to get onto these trends.
You do, and you got to move quickly because the thing is, the problem is, you come up with a cool product that trends, and then everyone comes in and copies you, right? And at the time he had the full swans, then other people started doing it. I think I created a few competitors. So I mentioned it on a show somewhere that they did that. But then you had all the Chinese guys coming in, and they'd flood eBay with all the competitive products. And I think Sunny Life came out, and they had like 100 products. They had watermelons and lily pads and unicorns and whatever, and completely flooded the market. And the price went from $99 down to, I don't know, $30.
Yeah.
And they made it a lot harder to compete. So
like there's onesies. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so in today's world, you've got to be super nimble and super active. So that's what's good about Freelancer is you can come up with an idea, you can be super nimble.
And just do
you
it.
can get out there, you can get a trend, but then you can think about the next thing, and next thing, and next thing, and next thing. And you can be super agile versus the traditional way of doing things.
It's been very fun, very educational segment. I have one final question, and that's what's the best piece of advice that you've ever received?
The best piece of advice I've ever received, I actually wrote an article on LinkedIn about it, which is if anyone ever asked you if you can drive a forklift, just say yes. And what this was my parents, when they bought the business I told you about before, which is at a warehouse with arts and crafts stuff in it, I was a young kid. I think I was about 15 years old, and I'm in the warehouse, and the old guy who was selling it was just walking around, and he just chatted to me. He said, Matt, he pointed, there was a they called it the Red Ferrari. It was a forklift that came with the business. It was a beaten up old forklift. He goes, Matt, can you drive that forklift? I said, I don't know, I don't think so. And he said, Matt, in life, if anyone ever asks you a question like that, just say yes. Because you know what? There's one wheel, there's one pedal, it goes forwards, and there's one brake. He goes, how hard can it be, right? Take these opportunities and just figure out on the go, right? Like no one taught you to be a CEO.
Yeah.
You just jumped on it, and now you're super successful, right? No one taught me to be a CEO.
You can figure it out.
Just
you
figure it out on the go. Just take the opportunities and just figure it out as you go, right?
So this is actually, it sounds like my best advice is from Waldy, my husband. And it's like, you're not special. If all the other idiots can do it, why can't you?
Exactly. So, and you can too. Freelance.com/showpo.
That's right.
You sign up to Freelancer, we'll give you a recruiter, and you can do it too. And what we'll do is we'll put all the names into a hat, and we'll give $1,000 of credit to someone randomly
Cha-ching.
to turn their dreams into reality.
Amazing. Also add that to the show notes. Thank you so much, Matt.
Thanks, Jane. Love to be here.